You are now tuned into Somewhere in the Middle with Soonie and Mo.
Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey.
Hey, dying on the beat.
Hey, I got so many ups.
Everywhere I go, I
got so many ups.
so many ups.
I know they plotting against me. I know it's hate, they wanna kill me, but please don't tempt me, cause I got so many glocks. Hey, ain't none of them empty. Jesus said they would hate me too. That's how I know it's envy. I got so many ups.
What's up, y'all? Mo is not here. Mo has a toothache. She will not be on the show with me tonight, but I do have a special guest co-host, Joe Collins. Thanks for chilling with me tonight.
For sure. Thank you for having me. It's about to be fun.
It's gonna be fun. I'm scared. I don't know what he's got in store. He's smiling way too hard. I'm a little nervous.
I'm just excited, to be honest with you. I don't got nothing planned, no funny business.
Okay. Y'all heard it here. He said he ain't got nothing planned. And I have two more guests I'm going to be bringing up. We got Julius and we have Dave Winkler, who is running out in Philly. What are you running for again?
Congress.
Congress. Let's go. You just told us some crazy stuff about what's happening in PA, and we're going to get into that. But this election, I'm actually very excited for this election. I don't know if anybody else is, but I'm here for everything that happens this election cycle. I'm super excited.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. I kind of told
somebody
I kind of told somebody that I may just not vote. Don't come for me.
What?
I got no interest. And then somebody tried to convince me of Vivek. I was like, stop, bro. Stop.
He might not be a bad option for VP. You want to know why? Because he's brown and he's young. That's it.
Yeah, I get the angle. I'm not knocking the angle. I just, as far as like my vote for anybody, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm right
there with you. It's okay. I'm not voting. Everyone knows that.
You know what they say, right? A no vote is a vote for communism.
I know.
But you know what though? Okay. Let me go ahead and put this theory out there. What if I didn't vote and Trump won anyways?
What if I didn't vote? I mean, I think as long as you participate in your local elections, that's all that matters, to be honest.
Always.
What if Trump was off by one vote?
See? Extreme scenarios.
I hate you for saying that.
Trump lost by one vote, and then they all look at Julius like,
yeah, that will haunt me forever. I'm not gonna lie, that will haunt me forever.
But you know what's crazy though? Just like in NFL games, like a team lose and the players be like, well, it was that last call that the ref did. It's like, no, you have 48 minutes to blow this team out and you failed. You can't go to the last play and think that it was this final decision from the referee that stopped you from winning. You know what I'm saying? We got 331 million people in the United States that's eligible to vote, and they need to get out the vote, period. Point blank.
I'm still blaming him.
And the majority of them are white, so.
Still gonna blame you.
Okay, I want to know what you guys forecast for this election season. Do you see a W in Trump's category in 2024 for the presidential election? Honest. Joe, you can go first. What do you see?
Listen, I can't even tell you because I saw what happened in a previous presidential election, and everybody got out and rallied for Trump, but nobody ballot harvested for Trump. You know what I'm saying? And that's my biggest issue. That's going to always be my biggest issue. And I don't know. In my opinion, I think it's virtue signaling to get out here and be like, we got to go out and support Trump when, you know, your local electors is your electoral college. You know what I'm saying? So people got to actually put their actions where their mouth is. So if you want Donald Trump to win, and we need to collect ballots in the states that are legal and maybe the states that are not legal, because you're not going to get caught anyway. You know what I'm saying? And you also need to encourage other people to get out there and vote, and don't just rally for Donald Trump, rally for everybody up and down the ballot in your own state. Democrats did it. I can imagine they're going to do it again. So I don't know. It's in the air. I give them 50-50.
Okay. What do you say, Dave? What do you think?
It's kind of hard to tell right now because we're that far out, but I think that the energy is definitely there. The more that the Democrats make the move to, you know, with the indictments, Just the Hunter Biden thing / Joe Biden going into there. I think that impeachment inquiry is going to soften up, some of those independents and the light Democrats to kind of push them towards the conservative side, especially once they start exposing all the corruption that Biden's about. It's going to push them towards the Republican Party. But I also think that the impeachment inquiry is a little bit too far out from where I would like it for the election 2024, but it could do some damage. I think that we could definitely, get out on the street, because I'm a down ballot candidate. I know Joe is out there as a candidate as well. I think that we can capitalize off of this and move people towards the Republican Party. But I don't know if this is going to necessarily translate to a Trump win, but it's going to do some damage.
Okay. What do you think, Julius?
It's a tough one. It is. It's tough because with everything going on with Trump, I mean, you are going to have that divisiveness with Trump, regardless. The media is going to say one thing, and right's going to say another. I don't know. I have to say I'm befuddled. I really do not know. It's so up in the air because I honestly doubt that RFK is going to get any. Like, he may get some votes, but not enough for him to even get close. I can just already see that happening. I don't know. It could be like a DeSantis Trump kind of tie thing. Like, who's going to get the And I think it's going to be a race between those two. That's what
really.
No, absolutely not.
You on DeSantis?
No,
absolutely
it's
not.
DeSantis, that guy shoots himself in the foot every chance he gets. Like, the majority of people in America want abortions to be legal, but just not at a certain time. He signed a ban on abortions, period, in the state. He went to war with Disney. Disney is one of the biggest employers in his entire state. He had a lot of issues with the black community. He can't get a black person to stand next to him. Like, DeSantis is losing. And you see, he started off really hot, right? And now he's down to 13% in a post. Man, that guy's about as terrible as Tim Scott.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Joe here.
Okay, good.
The only thing I can see that's viable, and people may not like it, is Trump and Vivek for a VP, or Trump in a. I don't think he's gonna go with Kristi Noem. I don't think that's a winning ticket. Or Trump and a homosexual. That is all I can see. And like Dave said, I agree with you. It's very early out.
Yeah.
But who is going to come in the next 3 months and garner that much popularity and attention that Vivek and all these other candidates don't already have?
I think your first choice is the smart move is Trump Vivek. I think that is the smart choice for right now. Vivek is able to do something that most Republicans can't, which is be able to get the youth.
Yes.
The youth is absolutely loving him. And he's able to counter, as I was talking to you earlier, Soonie, about this, a few weeks ago, was he's able to counter the liberal media, and he does it in such a way that he always comes out on top. And he does it, and it's not negative in the sense where independents will be like, they're not turned off by it. Right, or neither the light Democrats, or they're not turned off by it. They actually tune in and watch him, go over to the leftist media just to see how he could or how he reacts to them. I think that's going to be huge for Trump. Get with Vivek pretty quickly. After he wins the primary, and then get with him to allow him to face the media. You deal with your court battle. Allow Vivek to do the damage control there.
Vivek also goes to the inner city.
Yes. Vivek was in Kensington. I don't see any other Republican going over there.
Yep.
Do you think he has the same vibe as Trump in 2016?
No, not the least bit.
Okay.
Because he's brown, that's why.
I think he's trying to portray a version of that, but no.
Gotcha.
Not at all. The main reason I'm interested in him is specifically because of the youth, because he does go to these areas that we talk about all the time, whether he's genuine or not. The dude goes there, and that's what people remember. They're going to remember him showing up. So hopefully Republicans play this smart. This is why I'm so excited to see what happens. He's a total outsider. You have a significant portion of Trump's base that's just absolutely not. I'm still one of those people. Of course I'm not voting, but if we want to win, I think this is the best strategy for now, unless something changes in the future, which I don't see that happening. I think this is it. I think we're waiting for this big, like, okay, it's about to heat up. And we got the players who are going to be playing. Like, we already have them right here.
For Republicans, what about Democrats, though?
See, I have no freaking clue because there is no one over there that's appealing. I personally don't see a path for them. I don't.
See, we were talking about this a couple of days ago. Michelle Obama, like Joe Biden dies, like during the campaign trail, and then Kamala Harris has to run as a president, and they throw Michelle Obama's goofy self with her. Right now, you got two half black and black people running for office. And I say people because Democrats don't know what a woman is. They proved that many times.
That's true.
But now you got these guys who identify as female running for office. And
that's true. I can't fight you there.
People keep talking.
I mean, I just don't think there's going to be a Democrat primary. This is quite honest.
You don't think so?
Simone Sanders said it on CNN. She kind of said the quiet part out loud, where it's going to be Joe Biden or nothing right now. So,
damn.
Yeah. I mean, you already look at what they're doing to JFK Jr. I mean, they're trying to keep him away from they're pretty much giving him the Bernie Sanders treatment.
But Bernie Sanders knew he was going to lose from the jump because the DNC rules say you have to be a registered Democrat to run for president as a Democrat. He's always been a registered independent. So he was always bound to lose.
Well, it looks like Biden's approval rating just dropped again.
Not surprising.
Polls show that his approval rating dropped to 39%, which dropped 2 percentage points from July and 6 percentage points from January. Biden's numbers on handling the economy were particularly troubling for Democrats, with 58% of respondents saying that his presidency worsened the economic conditions in the country. I don't know what they mean by Joe Biden or nothing. To me, that's a losing strategy.
Well, haven't you heard? We had the best economy ever, according to Press Secretary Karine. The best economy ever,
right?
That's because they got to change the definitions in order to make it the best economy. Like on Twitter, every time Joe Biden posts something about the job growth, I always have to remind them of the job loss, because everybody talks about job growth, but nobody talks about the amount of jobs that are being lost every single month, and I think that's crazy.
Well, you got some believers in the chat, Joe. They also think Michelle's going to run.
He probably will. I mean, she probably will.
I don't see it, but if she does, he or she, it'll be interesting.
Be realistic. What does she got to run on? She's got nothing. School lunches.
She's black.
See, David's like me. Like, let's be realistic.
I mean, all she did was school lunches, and she messed those up.
Well, look at Kamala Harris. All she did was give blowjobs, and she's come on now. All you gotta do is be nothing.
Sandwich and a blowjob. All men want that.
I could see a Kamala Harris and Michelle Obama rally. They're gonna have the girls walking through the crowd with Vaseline in a backpack. Don't look down, put money in the backpack. That's it. Because that's all you're gonna get.
Well, we'll have to revisit this in like November. That's probably when we'll start to see things shake out. We'll see what happens in November. All I know is I'm excited for this election season, because there are going to be more people who come to influencers like me for accurate information, and this kind of segues into our next topic. I've been Team Crowder since Crowder exposed Daily Wire. Well documented. I've challenged people that I'm cool with, like, why? First of all, why are you taking Daily Wire's side? There's got to be some sort of implicit bias here. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Steven Crowder came out against Daily Wire for their poor contracts that they offer other influencers. He wasn't necessarily arguing for himself, but he felt like a lot of what they were offering in their contracts was predatory. He felt like they were giving into the censorship of YouTube. When I read through the contracts and I actually listened to his issue, I saw his point. I got it. What else happens after that? Candace Owens does what she does in good fashion. She comes out, and Candace is like a pit bull, bro. Once she locks in, that's it. She's about to rip you to shreds. And in my opinion, she just ripped herself to shreds because she participated in what's called character defamation. I don't know if you guys have saw her latest post. Not latest, but this is probably like 3 something months ago. Hold on, why is it not coming up on the screen? There it is. I'm going to pause it because I don't want to play her audio yet, but I do want people to read the caption on her video. Steven Crowder is a monster. Changed my mind. Now, Steven Crowder is a monster because Candace made a 3-minute video, very popular, a 3-minute video with zero context from someone's Substack that apparently has the end with obviously Steven Crowder's ex-wife, and they tried to make him look like a total asshat. I watched this happen and I called it out very early on. Julius, you were a part of it. Joe, there was a lot of people that were just like, yep, I'm not making a statement. But then there was a whole lot of other people who decided to make statements. I think this is egg in their face. I'm not sure if you guys heard the audio, but before we play the audio, when this is happening, what was going through y'all's minds? Just watching this movement.
Typical.
I think you know me. I mean, this has been a repeated thing with Candace Owens. It's kind of why I fell off of supporting her, right? You know, so I mean, I think you and I had that debate about even Kim Klacik. I just think that people, she's very quick to attack, and then you already know who's coming right after, Brandon Tatum, right? Yep. And it never fails. If she's got a problem, then it's, you know, queen. She's the queen of blah blah blah, and there goes Tatum. But I just disagree with this because I understand, you know, you take a few second clip of a domestic issue and you try to, you know, bash everybody's names instead of having full context and all the facts in front of you. You're gonna end up getting it wrong one of these times, and then you're gonna have egg on your face like the way Candace just did. I just didn't feel it from Steven Crowder. I didn't feel like something was just off about the whole thing. It seemed like a vindictive wife kind of scenario, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna bash Crowder for that.
Yeah,
we're on the same page. What about you, Julius?
Also, too, if you watch that video, because I covered this on my live, if you really watch it, it seemed like everybody's watching it from Steven Crowder's perspective, like the way he, you know, attacked her. But if you look at her, look at her language that she uses. You can tell she's being manipulative, trying to use the emotions. Like, I'm not going to engage with this Steven. Like, she's doing the typical female tactics. You know what I mean? So if you really watch her, you're like, wow, she's being manipulative. Matter of fact, she's being emotionally abusive. And I know you're gonna play the audio in a second, but there's something in that audio that you have to hear, and you're like, she was being emotionally abusive, and nobody talks about that.
Yeah, we'll play it. What about you, co-host? What you
Candace
got?
Owens, like the majority of conservatives always get this crap wrong. You know what I'm saying? They use the emotional appeal to create their points so they can continue to sell merchandise and continue to run numbers. But at the end of the day, not just with this situation, but with every situation, they're always wrong, and they always try to dig up dirt on somebody to make it seem like their point is valid. This ain't no different. Like, why are people all up in a emotional, in a personal business? Nobody was talking trash when Cardi B put Candace Owens on blast for her husband sleeping with her brother, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? But we're supposed to be quiet about that. But every single black person that get killed, you know, by the cop, we got to pull their criminal record in order to justify them being killed. It's no difference. They need to stay out of people's personal business, because as soon as you say something about them, they want to get mad and make all these stupid videos and stuff like that trying to trash you. This shit is typical.
Also,
I
too,
agree with that.
Can I add to the fact that to me it seemed very vengeful from Candace because of what happened with the Daily Wire contract. So it's like, you say something then, why would you then change your tune when you try to back up your buddies? So it seems more reasonable to kind of be against this versus being for it. And then it's like, wait, she said this one time, now she's saying this. Well, what is it, Candace? I'm confused. I can't think until you tell me to.
Or she could just mind her damn business and attack liberals and Democrats. That would be a good option.
Or she could just remain consistent. Julius was one of the first people to actually show me this tweet. And I was like, yeah, I'm showing this tonight. This is Candace Owens on the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard situation. Now, nothing else in this tweet matters, except never believe women. Instead, listen to women and men, but believe facts. Okay. So she straight up said what we're all doing now. Okay. You said this happened, but let's get both sides of the coin. We watch conservatives and conservative women turn into total feminists. I don't care what anyone says, bro. If you're being honest about what happened for those 2 to 3 weeks when this was a subject, y'all acted like feminists. Feminism is alive and well here. It just lies dormant. They hide it until they can pull it out against someone who they deem to be a threat. In my opinion, Steven Crowder is a loose cannon that cannot be controlled, and he's also the face of this conservative movement.
I mean, yeah, I also think that I think it's another competition thing, really, is Steven Crowder is killing them. If you really look at the numbers for the Daily Wire versus his, what is it, Louder with Crowder, like Louder with Crowder is killing them.
I think on another token, one thing you do got to understand about it is that Candace Owens don't own her own content. Her content is owned by Daily Wire. Steven Crowder is independent. He has his own independent everything. So even if Steven Crowder was doing half of the numbers that Candace Owens is doing, he would be making more money because he 100% owns his content. And she probably owns maybe 5-6% of her own content.
That part. Well, let me get into some of the not even the audio, but some of Candace's commentary. And then I will play a bit of the Ring camera. You guys have already seen it. I'm not going to play all of it. But what I want everyone to really listen to is the context to this video. Like, this entire situation is nuts.
Difficult to watch. It's especially difficult to watch because in this footage, she is 8 months pregnant. And the video essentially reveals just how emotionally abusive he has been. And she is alleging that he has been emotionally abusive to her. And this video all but confirms it. So let's first get to.
First of all, she just stuck her neck out there, right? And said, this video confirms emotional abuse. That is an egregious, very egregious thing to accuse a man of, okay? A man who prides himself on biblical principles, who married his wife, who had children the right way. You took a 3-minute video and prescribed automatic guilt of emotional abuse.
That's because she
just
didn't
pay
grow up in a
attention
black
to what
house.
she says.
She grew up in a black house. She know what emotional abuse is.
To the footage, I'm just going to allow you to watch it in its entirety.
I drew a boundary. I drew a boundary. No, you just did it. I drew a boundary in abusive and cruel. You were not taking the car. Because if you refuse to do wifely things, then I will go pick up the groceries.
There is no groceries. I do have
steaks, wood pellets.
I'm going to skip ahead a little bit.
Well, we're at an impasse.
We are at an impasse.
Good. Because you can't have any discipline.
Yeah.
There you go. You throw your hand. You give up so easily.
I don't give up, Stephen.
You give up so easily. I just said the only way out of this is discipline and respect. You said, then we're at an impasse.
Stephen, no, we are at an impasse, okay? I love you, but Stephen, your abuse is sick.
Your abuse is sick.
Watch it.
Just remember what Candace just said in the beginning. This confirms abuse. All this dude is doing is sitting there and telling his wife, this is what it is. You either get with it or get lost. Yep. Candace also took issue with the fact that this grown man said that he chose wrong. It's apparently disrespectful for men to voice their actual opinions on the women that they chose to lay down with. It sounds like to me he took accountability and said, whoa, I chose wrong. Maybe I'm tripping.
There's just a whole lot from this, Soonie. You know, me being that former officer, I can look at this and say that this isn't really an abuse thing. You notice how she's standing her ground, right? And the actions that you kind of see, even in that recording that you played earlier that I listened to, if you are somebody that is literally a victim of abuse, you're not standing your ground the way that she is. And you're not, doing these certain things to hand it off to Candace Owens or hand this little tape off, here and there and do these certain attack kind of things. You're playing the system. I've seen real victims. They would be cowering in fear if Stephen, like, say he was like really, she would be cowering in fear because of possibly getting hit or abused or whatever. This isn't that.
I agree with you. What were you gonna say, Julius?
Also, too, this kind of goes in line with the fact that whenever a man is vulnerable, like telling what he feels,
Yeah.
we get demonized because put him to one to be like, oh, man up and things like that. So when he says I pick wrong, he gets criticized for expressing himself. It's the reason why you see men don't express themselves, because look at what happens. We get demonized when we do.
And people say things out of anger. You know what I'm saying? If you're in a heated argument, you're going to obviously, quit trying to act like we ain't human. Like between man and woman, people are going to say things that they're obviously out of line. Doesn't mean that you're abusive. You're just saying things at the heated moment.
Yep, I said the same thing.
Yeah, it's almost as if people have never had a heated discussion with their spouse. This is a person that you spend the majority of your time with, and it's also the main person that you're probably very inconsiderate of. I don't know why it works that way, but sometimes we get that way as couples where we get stuck and stagnant in something, and you may say something in a not so very nice tone. Is that abuse? Like, I know my husband's been frustrated with me and yelled a few curse words. Is he abusive now?
Because I would argue these days, emotional abuse is subjective. Because anything can be emotional abuse.
I don't even think it's real. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it's a pseudoscience, and it's a term that's been made up.
I'll take
this video is a setup.
I think his wife leaked it.
This whole video is a setup.
I think his
Just
wife
the whole
leaked
video
it.
in itself. Look at where the camera is pointed, like right down, and she's inside. Then all of a sudden, she steps outside to try to, have this argument. Then all of a sudden, she becomes ultra feminine and stuff. Stephen, I'm not going to do this, Stephen. Knock it off.
She's also pregnant, so there's probably a lot of emotions in that too. But
well, her shirt is up though. Like, look how her shirt is up.
I mean, she lifted her whole shirt up to show the belly on purpose in this video. Everybody knows, hey man, he's attacking a pregnant woman.
Planned pregnancy, planned video, all this stuff was set up. He was set up from the jump. I'm not buying it.
Okay, let's finish this video out.
Watch it.
Watch it. That's my favorite part.
Watch it.
I'm gonna let go. I'll get what you need me to get. And I need some space. We need to just stop engaging for a little bit. Okay? I love you. I love you very much.
I don't love you. That's the big problem. I've never received love from you. And the fact is, when I go, look, I need you to do A, B, C, and D, you just be disciplined about it. You go, no. But I love you more than life itself. Okay. Put on some gloves. No. But I love you more than life itself. That's not fair. That's not fair, and it's disingenuous. Hillary, you're right. Right then, become.
All I hear, because I'm going to play the audio. All I hear
That's his problem.
is a
He married
man
Hillary.
holding his partner accountable, and he's not going to take your shit on it. So you either do what I'm asking and show me that you love me, or just keep doing this, which is abuse. That's mental abuse. You keep telling someone you love them, but you don't love them enough to put on some damn gloves. Like, he told you to put on gloves, woman. What is wrong with you? Put on some gloves.
But I think for the context of this, it was put on gloves to pick up dog poop while pregnant, which I think is a health risk. So I don't know if I can agree with that part, but I'm like, I understand where he's coming from when he's like, if it's any other thing, you're not quick to help out, or you're not quick to do what I'm, feeling that you need to do as a wife. And yeah, that is a problem.
And that's what's interesting too, is that they said that he was being emotionally abusive, but if you hear what he said, when I say something, you say no, but I love you more than life itself. That's emotionally manipulative and abusive. Like, she's doing that to him, but nobody wants to recognize it. Just like, oh, he's so bad. Look at her fat belly. Oh God. And it's like, he's telling you that she's abusive to him.
She's extremely abusive. I think the picking up glove stuff was just like an example. But the bigger part that I see in here,
good point.
He ain't getting no booty.
That's
what it is. Period. He ain't getting no booty. You're not doing your wifely duties. He ain't getting no sex. That's what that means.
Yeah.
Period. I ain't trying to judge the situation, but
I wanted y'all to hear the first part of Candace, and I wanted you to briefly get a refresher on the video, because this is the audio that is captured. I'm not sure if this is a judge or a counselor or someone who's acting as a mediator in their divorce, but you get to hear what happened. You know, remember when, what's his name? I have it pulled up right here. His name is Yasher Ali. He was the guy who actually put the video out. He has been the one to fill in the blanks of what Crowder said off camera. They made sure to put that at the end of the video to hyper focus on the fact that Steven Crowder made some very threatening gestures towards his wife, but this is actually what happened.
That is the context of that. Saying if you go to your friend and you know that it was not meant that way, and you marry it with Stephen threatened to hit me, Dr. Walker,
threatened to hit me.
You want to play those games? You want to play those games? I'll play those games. I will fuck you up. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it that, Hillary. I didn't mean it that way. Way too far.
That's exactly what happened. I will actually say that what Stephen is saying right now is exactly what happened. Okay, that terrified me. And that is way too far, and it can't.
But it's way too far to claim that I've ever been violent, threatened violence.
And you know what? Let me tell you something I appreciate. Okay, I appreciate that the way that he just communicated what happened to you is exactly what happened. Okay.
I was louder.
You were louder. Now, what you need to understand was. You are a big man.
I'm gonna let it play. This is a battered woman who is crying because her husband said, I'm gonna fuck you up from across the house, nowhere near her, and she's outdoors. He's not running after her, right? And she's struggling to say why it's a big deal. You took a major gulp and then said, you're a big man. So you were afraid because of what could have happened? I don't know. To me, this just sounds like you being a whole punk, bro. It sounds like you could talk reckless, but you can't take it when he starts talking reckless, which is, I'm about to fuck you up if you keep talking crazy. I know what that means, Steven. I know what it means. I've never heard that, but I've seen somebody say it. I got you. I promise I got you.
You have never said anything like that to me before. Okay? You've never said anything like that to me before. And it truly scared me, okay? And I need you to understand that it truly, really scared me.
I understand that.
Did you think he was going to hit you at that moment?
I was walking out the door, and then I was scared to go back into the house.
Would we
answer the question?
I was across the house when I yelled at you. I wasn't even within striking distance.
You were not within striking distance, correct?
Okay. It was so I wasn't even up physically in her face.
But here's my point. It was bad that he said that.
Yes.
Okay. He shouldn't have said it. It was wrong. I think he said that. He caught himself. He said, I didn't mean it that way. He tried to roll it back or whatever, pull it back. Now, you had a right to be upset with the verbiage of what he said and how I said it. I'm just saying, in hindsight, would you agree that 3 months of what he has gone through is a little bit of an overreaction?
So I need to clarify something, okay? Can I share some information?
There'd be a lot of progress if you said maybe yes here.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Absolutely. Yes. For that incident, yes. Okay. I agree with you. Okay.
Crazy.
I'm sure there'll be more audio leaks, but that alone speaks volumes as to what's happening in this entire situation. I'm going to let you guys talk. I've been talking about this since the shit happened. I feel like I would just be repeating myself. So what do you have for us? Joe?
It was okay. Well, Joe, go ahead.
He should have married a Latina. You tell Latina, I'm gonna fuck you up. She's like, I'm gonna fuck you up first. I'm gonna fuck you before you fuck me up first.
That's how you get stabbed in your sleep.
Latinas don't stab people. You never heard of a story of a Latina stabbing somebody. Like, it's not even on the news.
They don't look. They don't get caught because they know better. You snitch. I'm gonna stab you harder.
White woman drowned all the kids, stabbed the husband.
Yeah, but that's a
Hire a
serious
hitman and
question.
get
Was
caught.
that inside of like a therapy
Arbitration or
session?
something.
I'm going to assume this is a judge because I've never heard a counselor act in that capacity. She sounds like the judge to me.
Like a mediator kind of thing for like a divorce?
Yeah. That's what I get from it.
Interesting.
She asked a really good question too. She was like, "Don't you think 3 months is like long overdue for what you've been dealing with?"
Mm-hmm.
Now all of a sudden,
that's what I caught too, because it seems like whatever he was going through in the 3 months, she was the one being emotionally abusive towards him, and that's why she's like, yes,
Yeah.
I agree. Shit.
Yeah, she didn't want to agree at first either.
She didn't want to agree.
Yeah,
That's
she
the
didn't
crazy
wanna
part about it.
but I need to know like a timeline. When did he file for divorce, and when did he start going through the stuff with the girl? Because I'm pretty sure he filed for the divorce and then started going through the crap with the girl, right? Or do I got that backwards?
It was supposedly it's like 2021. He talked
filed for
about
the divorce in
He talked
2021.
about this on his show. I think it was like 2021 that he filed. I
I thought
forget.
she filed first because he said
he filed. Online it shows he filed first.
Yeah, because even the person who posted about the video said that he filed, and then was mentioning that even though women tend to do file for divorce, in this case he had filed.
I guess my only question, because this vindicates him definitely on this issue, but I don't know too much about the after effect of with David Landau, what happened with him. So I don't know, because I know that there was work related stuff that was brought up, but this part definitely vindicated.
So I have the audio of the nanny, but I don't have it marked to know exactly what she's saying.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, so Just Pearly Things was covering the nanny part. I could send you the video, but timestamp it where she was listening to what the nanny was saying. If you want to do that?
It doesn't matter. We can do that. I thought she filed first. Either way, it doesn't matter who filed first. What matters is she has been painting false narratives about this entire thing. Like, I'm glad that Mo brought it up, but the nanny completely destroys her entire account of who he is. She cries about, well, he wasn't there for the birth of his kids. He went to go have an elective surgery. That's what Candace Owens decided to hyper focus on as well. But in order for your heart to function at full capacity, I think you should go get that, especially if you plan on being around for those two twins that you just had. So to me, I'm watching a father make a sacrifice of, okay, I can't be there at this birth, but I'm going to make sure I'm here for you for the rest of my life, or as long as I can be. And there's a picture of Steven Crowder where he is holding one of the kids, and you can see the hospital hat on them. Any one of us who has had children, there is a specific hat that you can only get at the hospital, and the babies wear it while they're there. So I don't know how much of the birth that he missed. Maybe he watched them, not forgot, but maybe he wasn't there for them to pop out. So what? That's your job as a woman anyway. Yes, it would be nice to have your husband's emotional support, but if he can't be there because he's trying to do something for the family, so get over yourself. The stuff these women complain about.
I just sent you the video with the timestamp.
Thank you. Let me pull it up. You guys can continue talking while I pull this up real quick.
All right, she filed for divorce first. Let me go ahead and correct myself on that one. My apologies. I thought he filed for divorce, but she filed for divorce.
So she filed first. Okay.
I would say
she said she said he had his foot on her neck. A little George Floyd situation going on right there.
Good Lord, bro.
That's what he said, though. That was Steven Crowder said.
Oh, the boot. Yes, I remember that. The boot. He said a proverbial boot or something like that.
Yeah.
I would just say that anybody that disagreed with me with the Steven Crowder situation owes me an apology. because they were like, no, I disagree. He's so emotionally affected. I'm like, it sounds like they were just fighting, and then they came together as adults and talked about it, as any couple should do. Marriage is marriage. I can't speak on being married. I've never been married, but I've seen my parents are married, still married to this day. They've had fights. They came together and talked about it. I'm fine. I'm not, a wacko out here. I'm not crazy. So it's like fights happen in the marriage. People act like they walk around with this halo on their head, like we're perfect. I never fight. I'm like, Candace, I would love to be a fly on the wall at your house. You probably bring
Lady
your
don't want to
husband.
be a fly on the wall at their house.
Candace be fighting with her husband.
Be some stuff going on.
Listen, if she came from where I think she came from, and it's where I came from, I know you be fighting your husband, because we battle against like trying to be independent and submissive at the same time, not understanding that we can't do both at the same time. You're gonna have to pick a struggle. And I don't think Candace has necessarily picked a struggle, because she's the face of everything, which to me sounds like you run shit over there. Or else I don't think your husband would have you out here doing what you're doing, not necessarily being there for kids, because I know for certain you have a nanny. There's no way.
Yeah, she
I
has a
can
nanny,
barely do this.
and she fired them, or fired multiple ones, because he couldn't make mac and cheese right.
Wow.
You haven't heard her stories about that?
No.
It was just your
She's
face
done
after.
whole segments on Daily Wire about firing her nanny or her nannies because they can't make mac and cheese for her kids right.
Wow.
Bruh.
So it kind of tells you what she's like in the house.
But her husband is like a millionaire or something like that.
a lord.
So I don't think he's
got,
like
titles.
hurting for money or anything like that.
Yeah, but he must be a simp if he ain't like correcting that.
I don't know a billionaire or a millionaire who give a shit about what their wife is doing, to be honest with you. Look at Jeff Bezos.
That's true.
He's like, no, I'm done with him. I'm good.
Jeff Bezos
That's
said I'm going to
low-key
space
true.
to leave her ass.
Well, this is not my most favorite person. I actually don't like pearly things.
She had retweeted my post about when she posted about Stephen Carter, and I made my little comment. She retweeted. I was like, "Hey,
tell her to give me my repeal the 19th back. Tell her it's mine. Give me my stuff back." But here's a clip of the nanny.
Soonie said.
My friend Soonie said.
So now we have a leaked video shows Crowder's nanny is admitting to making a false statement in divorce during the sworn deposition.
In the third paragraph of your declaration, you say, I was surprised by Stephen barging into the house wearing a body camera. See that sentence?
Yes.
So were you surprised that he, quote, barged into the house, or were you surprised that he was wearing a body camera?
You have to think about that.
Maybe the camera, I don't recall, which is more surprising.
Well, you authored this, didn't you?
Yes.
Wouldn't you know what you meant?
This is the best of my recollection.
I understand that, ma'am, but I'm asking you, when you wrote the words in your handwritten notes that Mr. Nelson turned into this declaration.
Like, just, I don't know. To me, it doesn't seem like women across the board understand how crazy it is when you accuse men of doing certain things. Like they don't think they don't think it's something bad to be accused of. It's just everyday banter. Oh, he's abusive. Like, okay, what are you saying about this person? That's a tall order.
Yeah. He left out the house and didn't come back till like 4
exactly. And he didn't want to
abuse.
talk to me. I wanted to talk, and he just wouldn't talk to me. And I asked him why, and he said, because I don't want to talk right now. He's stonewalling me. Like they have so many words and terms for everything now.
Yeah.
That's emotional abuse. And I should cry right now.
It's just like Julia said, it's completely subjective. What does that mean?
I mean, that's crazy though that she can't remember her own deposition.
What's worse is no conservative influencer, I'm sorry, outside of myself is even talking about this.
And there's no fear of perjury either. Like she had the look of like no fear of And then I don't know what's going on with her eyelashes. I mean, she couldn't see past them, but because that look she gave out, I would have been like, man, you either high or I'm questioning their nanny choices, man.
See, but you know, like in the conservative community, you know, it's not popular to go against the grain. So if everybody says it, regardless if it's right or wrong, you have to say it. Are you're the outcast and you're a fake conservative.
That's
you know?
true. Yeah.
No matter how much you're wrong. And they were wrong. They were wrong.
That's true.
They were wrong on a lot of stuff.
And I think too, like it's not only that when you're wrong, it's almost like they just have to keep going with it because they already went down that path. Instead of being able to, you know, have that character enough to be like, hey, you know what, I was wrong. Let me take it back.
Yeah,
like,
let me
I
come
think this
out
goes on both sides of the aisle right now.
I'm gonna apologize. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna apologize to y'all. I was wrong. My bad.
Yeah,
if I'm ever wrong, I would do it.
That's a good character.
I'm batting 1,000 though.
It's the problem I have with people on the right, because I mentioned this on my live stream that it's the same thing with Lauren Boebert. It's like, I know she screams MAGA and people like her, but then she goes to a movie theater and then gets groped and, you know, doing the dry hand job to the dude that she's with.
What?
Yeah, you didn't know that? To a gay dude, a gay bartender.
Yeah.
In public?
At a Beetlejuice musical. First of all, I want to know
What?
who the hell is going to a Beetlejuice musical.
Yeah.
Weren't there kids in there?
So there weren't kids, but it was rated like PG-13 or something like that, like 13 up. But nonetheless, it's like you're in a crowded, like you're in a public space and you're doing your business in the public space.
Sexual deviance
with a gay bartender.
What?
Yeah, she was trying to change them straight, man. Come on, the conservative way. They gotta be straight, man. She was doing her Christian duties.
Supposedly the guy's a Democrat, owns a gay bar where he hosts drag queen events.
Oh, you haven't seen the TMZ thing yet, Soonie?
No.
She gets stopped by TMZ and she was like, I guess I learned my lesson and never date Democrats again.
Yeah. She said I have to find out which
No,
party
she didn't.
But she has to check their voter registration before she dates.
I'm doing the video. Bitch, you knew this motherfucker was a Democrat. You better stop.
Here's the thing, though. Everybody's getting all bent out of shape about two adults feeling on each other during a movie theater in a movie full of adults. Yet you got Democrats that be humping on kids in public on video, and everybody acts like it's not happening. In the schools, they got literally porn books in the schools, but nobody wants to talk about that. But a grown woman on a date with a dude, whether he's gay or not, and they filling up on each other, it's not a big deal.
I mean, that's not what I take an issue with Boebert. I mean, do you, right? I don't care what you do. It's the whole vaping thing, right? So she got caught vaping. That's really what kind of set it off. But then she lied about it, even though she's on videotape vaping. Like you can literally see like the puff of like stuff come out of her mouth, and I'm like, why lie about it? And then be able to be like, do you know who I am? Okay, that's assertion of power just because you're a congresswoman. That I don't care what side of the aisle you are, but that's just bad business, man.
See, here's the problem with that.
Contact your mayor.
The problem with that statement is nobody knows who she is outside of Congress. I've been to plenty of large events and walked right by her and didn't know who she was. Like she's even starting like, hey, you want a picture? I'm like, no, I'm sorry, I got somewhere to be. And somebody's like, yo, that was Lauren Boebert. I'm like, oh dang. Like nobody knows who she is. So why is it a problem? I would have never said, you know who I am? Yes. Don't know who I am, please.
More like Lauren Hobart.
I mean, but look, you got this lady that's running for state rep in Virginia that literally is doing porn for donations with her husband. Like literally, she got a whole Pornhub channel.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, so that's normal.
But Joe, that's the hypocrisy that I didn't like. It's one thing to say, okay, they're two adults, but even still, they're in public, right? The same people who say keep your sexuality behind closed doors, they're okay with her sexuality being outside the doors. So the hypocrisy that they're saying, well, remember this Democrat twerked on the beach? Remember this Democrat who's a VP candidate for Pornhub? Why have that energy for them and then totally just remove the fact that your person is getting groped on and doing dry hand jobs, and you're okay with that? And all the guys were like, well, she got some nice racks. Oh, I would love to take her to the movie theaters.
Because, bro, Democrats went from twerking on the beach to twerking on little kids. That's a whole 180 shift.
I get that. But
I mean, I agree with Julius on that. I mean, if we're gonna have that standard, then we gotta have that standard the whole entire time with it.
Yeah.
I mean, the twerking on the beach thing is, to me, is no different than dry hand jobs in a fucking in a movie. Excuse my language, in a movie theater.
It's no
So
different. And I didn't create the outrage about it. I couldn't care less about either one. What I care about is these adults humping on little kids.
yeah,
but let's
dude,
ignore
I agree
that.
with that too.
I agree. I just, the hypocrisy just doesn't sit right with me. That's all I'm saying. The hypocrisy just doesn't sit right. So, and to me, I think the only reason why that she got a pass is because she's hot. Most guys are like, well, she's hot. So I'm like, well, that's pretty privileged for you.
I mean, I get both sides. That's why the show is called Somewhere in the Middle. Because I get both sides. I get Joe's side when it comes to, I feel like a lot of conservatives are really just lost right now. Not sure what to speak on. Following every trending stupid ass topic that is out there. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've got a notification of Candace talking about someone in Hollywood, as if that really matters in the grand scheme of things, right? So I get what Joe is saying. Why don't we focus on things that actually matter? But then on the opposite side, we have to have people who talk about these dumbass subjects because we have dumb Americans who buy into these stupid narratives. So we can walk and chew gum at the same time. I personally think. I think we can have people like me and you who are very much so serious and direct, driven. One topic, let's discuss this, let's figure it out. But then you have the opposite side where you have to just talk about stupid things like this. Like, I think it's dumb that Lauren Boebert is in the news for this. I think it is stupid. Who cares? We all did shit like this when we were teenagers. She's a grown woman, but we all did it. To act like you ain't never got touchy and feely with your man or your woman in public.
None of us here probably took out a gay bartender. All right.
Well, I know. That's one thing I didn't do.
I'm not talking about that part. Not that part.
He wasn't too gay.
My chicks were straight, I think.
Chick was straight. I'm just saying, I get both sides. I get why you talk about it, because you do need to call out the hypocrisy. But I also get why people are like, this is stupid. Let's talk about what they're doing with the kids. But that's why we have personalities who talk about more than one thing.
I think the only reason why I made the news is because Boebert takes such strong stances on things. And then they just wanted to highlight the hypocrisy of it.
Yeah. I mean, there is a hypocrisy. That's what I'm saying. Even with her, there is hypocrisy. It's like, I get it, the drag with the kids. I'm not, for that at all. But if she's going to preach something about family values, and then she divorces her husband because they don't have enough time for each other, and then moves on to a guy, and then while she moves on to this guy, she's not even fully divorced with her husband. She's still married to her husband.
So here's my question. And this is speaking on hypocrisy. Why sensationalize something that people aren't going to listen to you about? Like conservatives get mad about the lady twerking on the video. Why? Liberals are not listening to you from the jump. Only thing you're doing is speaking into the echo chamber to a bunch of conservatives who already seen this thing 40,000 times. We know she's twerking on the beach. Every time you look at the video, you make her views go up. And then you put the video out on your platform, and now it's millions of views from you, millions of views from you, and millions of views from you, and she's getting paid because we're looking at this idiocracy. It's completely stupid.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Well, I don't appreciate liberals. I tell conservatives stop being stupid. Like, I call out conservatives. The liberals, you already know it is what it is. Like, they're not gonna listen. They're gonna keep on whatever. But I call it the conservative because it seems like they're in this. It's like their stance changed. They went from conservative for Trump, and now they're super liberal now with the same things that they was complaining about during Trump. It's just bizarre. Exactly. So I call them out.
I get it. I
see a lot of conservatives went from pro-Trump to the Christians. Now they all Christians. See that a lot. Let's read the Bible.
Yeah.
What?
I would argue now.
Smogging, breaking into the Capitol and doing all that goofy stuff. Tell me about the Bible.
They're gonna use the Bible against you and say, "Well, God told us to take up our swords. He didn't say be meek and mild."
They should have brought swords then, but they did. They brought American flags. The Bible is very specific with what it says.
See, I can't get one around you, dude. God damn.
Hey, Joe, it has the pointy part, so it can be stabbable.
Said, bring a damn sword. Forget your flag. What you bringing that?
I watched 300 last night.
Gosh.
Bring a flag.
Well,
you know what's crazy? You brought a
what?
flagpole to the Capitol, got arrested, and still went to jail and didn't even have a weapon. Ain't that crazy? You got 20 years for breaking and entering with no weapon.
Well, you
and
saw
they said
Ray
your
Epps.
weapon was American flag.
Ray Epps is finally getting his indictment stuff going. I don't know if you guys saw that.
His charge
I was
is not
reluctant to bring it up.
Yeah, his charge is not. I mean, it's a charge, but it's like he got like a slap on the wrist more than like
A
an
slap
actual
on the
charge.
wrist for all the shit he did. Thank you.
Wasn't he a snitch though? He was a Fed, right?
Yeah, and so was Proud Boy. What's his
Seemed
name?
like all the Feds got time for not snitching.
I forgot his name. The guy who just
What?
got 22 years.
Enrique.
He's a
And
Fed
Joe
too.
Biden. Yeah, once you sign a contract to snitch, you better snitch. Or just stay out the mix and be like, I don't know.
I can't ask me nothing because I don't know. Well, Russell Brand is the next man who is being character assassinated. He's been accused of emotional abuse. This word comes up often. I'm thinking this is going to be a buzzword going forward in the media for years to come. But he's accused of emotional abuse and rape. Allegedly, 4 women were sexually assaulted by him between the years 2006 and 2013 while he was a presenter for BBC Radio 2 and then Channel 4. So I'm assuming when he became popular. Others have made a range of accusations about Brand's controlling, abusive, and predatory behavior. To me, when I hear these words, it sounds like, well, I couldn't go out and do what I wanted to do. He had rules. He had standards. I wanted to go out and he said, no, I don't want you to go out. You should probably stay home. I don't know. I don't hear abuse when I read any of these things now. Like I don't.
He's like the white Bill Cosby now.
But in what state is this happening, or is this happening overseas where they're trying to charge him?
From what I can tell, it has nothing to do with, or it didn't happen in America.
Oh, yeah.
This is from what I can tell, because it's not very clear.
I'm just thinking about the statute of limitations on this stuff. Like, you're looking at well over 15, 16 years. Why all of a sudden are you bringing it forward now?
Why?
Like, and I'm just tired of it. I mean, even with Trump and that stupid civil lawsuit he had to deal with.
Yeah.
And then you have to go back to even the Supreme Court judge. Like, this stuff is insane that it's allowed to even go through a court process.
Which Supreme Court judge? Clarence Thomas?
No, not Clarence. Well, not only Clarence Thomas, but Kavanaugh as well.
Bill Cosby?
Yeah.
Because that happened to him too.
Yeah, Bill Cosby as well. I don't know. Bill Cosby's a little...
I don't know how I feel about Cosby. There's a part of me that's just like...
Hello there, you awakening one.
He's getting railroaded, and then there's another part of me that's like...
He did that.
Yeah, but you're a little weird. Exactly. Exactly. Like, it's like R. Kelly, right? Like,
no, he did that.
But I know he did it. I don't feel that way about this guy. I just don't get those vibes from him. But he made a statement denying everything. I mean, we're gonna play that.
Hello there, you awakening wonders. Now, this isn't the usual type of video we make on this channel where we critique, attack, and undermine the news in its corruption, because in this story, I am the news. I've received 2 extremely disturbing letters, or a letter and an email, one from a mainstream media TV company, one from a newspaper, listing a litany of extremely egregious and aggressive attacks, as well as some pretty stupid stuff like my community festival should be stopped, that I shouldn't be able to attack mainstream media narratives on this channel. But amidst this litany of astonishing, rather baroque attacks are some very serious allegations that I absolutely refute. These allegations pertain to the time when I was working in the mainstream, when I was in the newspapers all the time, when I was in the movies. And as I've written about extensively in my books, I was very, very promiscuous. Now, during that time of promiscuity, the relationships I had were absolutely always consensual. I was always transparent about that then, almost too transparent. And I'm being transparent about it now as well. And to see that transparency metastasized into something criminal that I absolutely deny makes me question, is there another agenda at play? Particularly when we've seen coordinated media attacks before, like with Joe Rogan, when he dared to take a medicine that the mainstream media didn't approve of. And we saw a spate of headlines from media outlets across the world using the same language. I'm aware that you guys have been saying in the comments for a while, watch out, Russell, they're coming for you. You're getting too close to the truth. Russell Brand did not kill himself. I know that a year ago, there was a spate of articles. Russell Brand's a conspiracy theorist. Russell Brand's right wing. I'm aware of news media making phone calls, sending letters to people I know for ages and ages. It's been clear to me, or at least it feels to me like there's a serious and concerted agenda to control these kind of spaces and these kind of voices. And I mean my voice along with your voice. I don't mind them using my books and my stand-up to talk about my promiscuous consensual conduct in the past. What I seriously refute are these very, very serious criminal allegations. Also, it's worth mentioning that there are witnesses whose evidence directly contradicts the narratives that these two mainstream media outlets are trying to construct, apparently in what seems to me to be a coordinated attack. Now, I don't want to get into this any further because of the serious nature of the allegations, but I feel like I'm being attacked, and plainly they are working very closely together. We are obviously going to look into this matter because it's very, very serious. In the meantime, I want you to stay close, stay awake, but more important than any of that, if you can, please stay free.
Well, guess who has made comments on this situation as well? Can you guys guess? Can we
Black
take
Mama?
a wild guess here?
Black
Candace
Mama?
Owens, as always, she's already made a video on this, and apparently she is in support of the women because of the current evidence, which to me is not evidence at all. It is strictly hearsay, because unless there's a rape kit to prove any of this, it is just your word against his. It is that simple. If you're not going to tell when it happens, then you don't get to tell 10 years later. And this is coming from someone who was sexually assaulted at a very young age. I didn't go tell. What do I look like telling at 32 years old? And I want to go to the police. What? How am I going to prove it? They're just going to go off my word, my story. Candace, man. Dang. This is what I said the other day. I said this about Pastor Brian. I promise I don't want to talk about you. I could go the rest of my life and never have to say another word about you and just be fine. But y'all give me stuff to talk about. Please explain. I want to hear what the guys think.
I wonder if she had the video that says Russell Brand's a monster, changed my mind, part 2, or something like that.
No, it's just, I'll show you guys what it says. It's right here. It just says my unexpected take on Russell Brand allegations.
Somebody was saying in the comments that Russell supports Crowder. That's why Candace is after him. It could be. I mean, there's a possibility that if Russell sided with Crowder, and that's what I mean by her being like vindictive like this. It's like because she has a beef with Crowder, it's like anybody that stands with him, she's totally against already, just from the jump. Possibly.
The rape clinic confirmed her visit the day that it happened. Not sure if a rape kit was taken or not. Okay. She went to the rape clinic. And did she say who did it to her? Because if she didn't, then who's to say that he really did it? I'm just saying what would come to my mind automatically if someone were to come and tell me these allegations about someone. I would be like,
well, did you see Megan
during
Kelly's
that time? During that time, I was a sexual assault and rape victim advocate, and I know. And you.
Oh no, he came back.
When you go to the rape clinic and you accuse somebody of raping you, immediately the police is called and you got a police report right there on the spot. So you got a police report.
Okay.
You got the rape kit to substantiate that evidence. And if he would have got a police report, we'd have known about this in 2006.
Okay.
Did you see the video that I posted, Megan Kelly?
No.
So she basically was going on a rant about people kind of standing with Russell Brand, like being on his side and not waiting until everything comes out. But what she said made it seem like we should believe all women just because they're women. she's like, can you just think for a second that maybe these girls are telling the truth? And I was like, and then she also says, I've seen a rash of guys talking about it's bullcrap. Well, there are women who think it's bullcrap too, Megan.
Exactly.
Why didn't you mention the women that think it's bullcrap? So it sounds like you wanted to believe all women because you maybe have a bias against men.
I mean, you know what I think? When I hear people like her talk and they'd be like, you know, trust all women, it's like, why you don't take that same stance when these men pretend like they're women? Oops. Oops. Because as a man, it's just like you don't listen to men anyway, but all of a sudden he becomes a woman, and now you really want to believe he's a woman because he identified as a woman. You should have called him a liar when he first said, I think I'm going to identify as a woman. You should have been, you're a liar. We're not going to believe you.
Yeah.
I just think,
I'm gonna bring that up every single time.
Once again, man, we have this in America right now. I've just known it for at least the last decade, or it was on him for longer than that. But this idea of our judicial system, or the way that it's supposed to play out, or the way we're supposed to look at these kinds of issues, is just messed up. We have a presumption of innocence until proven guilty. It's not the opposite way around, right? And the way that we play things, because of social media, you can go ahead and within a few seconds put out your allegation on here. Everybody's going to come for you like a mob. But that's just not the way things work. So I'm never going to look at anyone that is accused of something right off the bat as if they're just dead guilty. Like, I don't know how. Like, that's complete assassination of character. Let the process play out the way it's meant to play out, and then if they are convicted or something like that, then obviously we can go ahead and say that Russell Brand did whatever. But I'm not going to bash the dude based upon allegations.
You know what I don't understand? I don't understand why Joe Biden be falling upstairs, but we literally have videos of him grabbing little girls by the boobs and sniffing on them and grabbing their hair and grabbing on these little kids, and people's like, no, he's not doing that. It's like, no, I'm watching him grab this little girl, literally on her boobs. She moved out the way and he brings her back in and grabs her chest again and snatches little gray hair and smell her out. Like, we see that.
That was like Sofia Vergara, wasn't it?
Huh?
He grabbed Sofia Vergara, whatever her name is.
Man, he grabbed a gang of people.
Yeah.
He be touching on these
No,
little
I thought
kids,
you were talking
little
about the time where he actually like grabbed her boobs, like up on stage.
That too.
Wow.
That too. That dude's an old pervert.
Yeah.
Well, Sophia should just punch his ass.
And you want to know how I know Joe Biden be messing with little kids? Because it ain't one straight man in this world that will fall upstairs. We fall downstairs. We don't fall upstairs. That's how I know. This guy be telling on him.
What kind of science?
If he's falling upstairs, you got to look into him. Never trust a man who falls upstairs. Period. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
I wanted to add real quick too that
right here.
There's that one. There's the one with the we talked about the little girl Joe. I think she's like Chinese or something like that, but it was her where his hand went somewhere and she kind of went like, whoa, like even she knew, I wanted to add that with Megyn Kelly saying that to telling the audience, to stop and think for 1 second that these girls are telling the truth. And I thought, well, so I'm supposed to just stop and think that these girls are telling the truth, but not stop and think that Russell's telling the truth.
Right.
So where's the equality?
No such thing as equality in America.
That's how you know we're not equal.
Not equal at all. Well, I mean, justice for Russell Brand. I'm gonna be personally following the story. Because I do think that this is, to me, this is just another hit piece. And when hit pieces come out, it's because someone has said or done something that they don't want the public necessarily paying attention to. So they do all they can to discredit that person publicly.
I will say this, man. I'm all for, protecting his innocence right now. But I can tell you, was it 2006 Russell Brand? That dude was higher than Hunter Biden, man.
Yeah, he was wild.
That dude was wild back in that. So God knows what the hell he was doing back then. So, it's very hard for me to be like, I don't know, because Russell Brand 2006, what is that movie? that he was in around that time.
Get him to the Greek or something like
Yeah,
that.
get him to the Greek.
Yeah.
That kind of Russell Brand, I don't know.
And you gotta think all the girls that were like partying with him. Like this is what I find interesting. It's like I'm sure there were girls
Getting
who were
Sarah
like,
Marshall,
yeah,
I think that was the other one. Yeah,
forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yeah, that him.
A classic, by the way. If you're getting Sarah Marshall, that movie's a classic. That's just my opinion.
See, okay, I can agree with that. So let's just say it's up in the air. For right now, it's up in the air. I don't see any reason. And look, even through 2016 till now, we've never heard any of this about Russell Brand. Never. That's what makes me not believe it even more. Usually when you hear things like Trey Songz, I'll give you for an example. That dude's a rapist. He's been accused of that all over the place and nobody says nothing. And it's not even like it's hitting the mainstream. That's why I believe these stories. That dude, yeah, he's weird.
I have something to say about that real quick with the Russell Brand stuff. I'm gonna read this from my post, but Katy Perry was asked about Russell Brand, and she mentioned the relationship, whatever, how rocky it was, but it was something that she said specifically that was like, huh, that's very interesting. So I'm like scrolling through right now. I'll be tweeting a lot, so I'm trying to find where I posted that, but she basically was talking about how she didn't say much about their relationship, and she basically held on to it until for a rainy day. So that made me wonder that, well, wait a minute. If this was such a serious issue, why not say anything about it then? Why hold on to it until it's convenient? So this makes me not believe the women, because it's almost like you have the situation, you could say something, but you don't because it's not convenient to you. Now that you hear this article come out, oh, Russell Brand accused, like, well, I'm going to say something now because it might benefit me. Not because you were scared you want to say something, but maybe I can get a little money from this. I can get a little attention from this. My social media can go up. I don't know what the deal is, what the currency is.
It's a Me Too movement. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's Me Too on steroids, and everybody wants a piece of the pie. Oh, this person, and I had like 6 degrees of separation with you. I'm gonna get up there and tell my story. You know what this is? This is Black influence on steroids. Because the second your cousin get put on, all the bad stories come out. Everybody got a bad story to tell. Everybody want to do interviews. This is not who he really is. Come on now, tell me you don't see this.
My cousin voted for Trump.
How did y'all family deal with that? Come on
Daddy
now.
wasn't shit.
So many red hats.
Media.
So many red hats.
So many red hats. Okay, we got one more topic. Julius, you had some topics that were cool to discuss, but we do have one more topic that I wanted to really get y'all's opinion on. I briefly talked about the auto worker strike, which I personally find to be absurd, that they are asking for a 40% increase, as well as some other stuff with insurance and fair work times. I don't get it. You already make more than the average person, and now you want a 40% increase, as if that's not going to hurt the business that you're currently working for, which will bring downsizing, which means the people that you claim you're fighting for, all them people are going to lose their jobs, but you keep yours and your raise. It's that simple for me. I'm not understanding why this is really even about to become a part of the political campaign trail. Like, this is becoming a big thing. They're now coming out against Trump. They're coming out against Biden. What do you guys think? I'll let you go first, Dave.
Me, this one is a tough one. My area has manufacturing, or they're all about this kind of stuff. To me, I still kind of sit back and I want to see how this one plays out. I can see the argument on both sides of the aisle, right? I can see both the argument for what they're asking for as well, because of the strain on the body. A lot of those people are putting, even though a lot of it is now, what do you call, automated or computers and these robots doing it, but there's still a lot of manual labor being done, and that's what I've been hearing out here is they, kind of like the risk of my body doing this 20 plus years. I want this amount of money. So I can understand that. But at the same time, you are, as you said, are going to hurt these businesses or these companies. Not only that, but our used car sales are through the freaking roof already. So this is the other side where I'm telling them, like, it's hard enough for a lot of these people to go out and buy a used car from like anything GMC buys. So, and then you look at the average payment that they're paying for those cars. So I'm like, you're going to hurt that as well. I'm asking for, because you're already making $80,000, around $80,000. Now you want to bump it up to 6 figures. I don't know about it. I just have to, once again, just listen to both sides, kind of come to a neutral ground here, here in PA, because we do have manufacturing or car manufacturing.
Yeah. Okay. What do you got, Joe? You're the economy guy. You and Liddell. I'm surprised Liddell ain't in the comment section piping up.
He was up here earlier. I can understand them wanting a raise. The majority of the manufacturing jobs have been sent overseas, so they can make the car cheaper and still sell it at market value here in the United States. And like Dave said, a lot of jobs are becoming automated, and I think more jobs are going to become automated. So people got to look out for their future, which is probably why they're asking for a raise. But I think at the end of the day, we're still missing the bigger picture. The economy is bad. The cost of living is through the roof. And it's not just the cost of housing, it's the cost of food, it's the cost of products, it's the cost of consumables, and nobody's really addressing those issues. And so they think the only thing that's gonna work is higher pay. Well, with higher pay comes more inflation because the cost of things continue to go up. So whereas $80,000 sounds good now, then you want to bump it up to $120,000 with today's economy. And even 20 years from now, that's still going to be damn near minimum wage, not too long. I think we got to start addressing the issues first, and that's doing what we can to lower the cost of living in America. And I think that'll solve a lot of problems. Not just that, even when you look at people wanting $15 an hour for working at a freaking restaurant, like that's ridiculous. Especially when they have all of the surcharges and tax surcharges, and then you still have to tip the person who all the surcharges is coming from. It doesn't make sense. The cost of living in America is extremely high, and increased pay is not going to solve the underlying problem.
I can agree with that. Actually, I agree with both parts. What's a happy medium? Do you give them a 10% increase? Like what's a happy medium to where it's not affecting the economy so much, and it's also not affecting the business to have to start letting people go? Or is that just a natural trade-off when you give a pay increase?
I think like the happy medium will be removing and replacing the entire Biden administration and getting people who are not attorneys in office to start,
that was easy.
putting some processes together. I mean, seriously, we got a bunch of attorneys and they litigate everything, and Democrats and both Republicans think, let's just throw money at the situation and it's going to fix it. And it's like, no, that's not what fixes it. Let's get some economists, let's get some accountants, let's get some treasurers, let's get some certified CPAs in office so we can fix this thing. And that's what's not happening, because people are so emotionally tied to the people who they've been voting for, and they complain that ain't nothing happening.
I think, I mean, I love your thought process on that. I would love to remove the whole entire Biden administration. I just don't think that's going to work with my, the negotiations with the voters out here. I think more so is having the conversations with the state legislative bodies on taxation. I think that we need to stop, especially because I have a Democrat-controlled assembly and Senate. We need to look at allowing these corporate, and I already know the left is going to, annihilate me when I say this, but stop taxing these businesses with ridiculously high taxation, which is actually the reason why they're doing what they're doing on increasing the, the sales price of a car, or this, the goods and services that they're doing at GMC. Is you're overtaxing these companies. You're ruining the free market approach of capitalism. Like, allow them to do what they do. I don't care if they make millions or billions, but what they're giving back to the community is a lot more beneficial. and allow, because that would then allow that 40% increase that they're asking for, is if you stop hurting the business, allow the business to boom. So that's the way I look at it. I think that the happy medium is saying, hey, state legislative body, create a package where you lower the taxation for these businesses so that they can give them the 40% that they're looking for, or less than that. Give them maybe 20%. Do a happy medium there, but stop hurting the businesses. Because I'm a business owner out here. I'm paying more taxation, or the burden is on me as the bigger small business in there. I got a hospital next to me, and they're paying a little bit more than me, but I'm paying like over 300 plus grand a year for my business here in taxation to fund a school board, pretty much. Right? Just imagine me doing that. Now GMC, just imagine how much they're paying over. Well, I don't have a GMC here, but I do have car manufacturing, but how much they're taxing them is up in like almost 60, 70 some percentile once you get done with all the taxation that they give them. So it's ridiculous.
I don't think that plan is going to work because you're already messing with a legislature that's already proven to be corrupt. So you could tell them whatever you want. I'm like, oh yeah, sounds good. Spend the money on some other stuff.
Yeah, because it's not only what I say. It's not only the state, but you also have the local municipalities. I think you would agree, Joe, that they add their own little taxations in there. And by the time you're done, I mean, these businesses are. Well, I wonder why they don't want to pay people 40%.
Remove and replace them. That's it, and that's all. Get rid of them. You look at these counties that are failing. They're failing because of the local municipalities and the county municipalities, and on the state level as well.
Yeah.
They fail at every single facet of life, and nobody ever calls these people out, so they remain in office. So it sounds great to say, well, we're going to tell these guys to, go ahead and spend the money elsewhere or do a better job, but they have 20-year plus track record proving that they're not going to do a better job.
Yeah, and
as
that's
long as
where
they
I'm
can
saying
blame the
the
opposite
bargaining
party,
aspect
then you're
that
good.
the union, the ones that are striking, GMC themselves, as well as the legislative body, they all need to get together and hash that out. I think that would be somewhat of a happy medium to have that conversation. I do believe that we can get taxation down. I'm not only saying Pennsylvania, I just think as America as a whole, if we're willing to have those tough conversations. I just think that a lot of us don't know the tax codes, or we don't really deal with taxation like entrepreneurs or business owners. So we don't really know what to really ask for. We just understand, hey, we're usually paying Social Security tax or federal income or all these different things, but we need to be articulating why we need to lower taxes and do it smartly.
I think we need to start articulating and stop spending money on worthless programs.
That's true.
Half
We
of
need
the
to
social
stop
programs that
discretionary
we have in the
spending.
United States is garbage. And then they say, well, we're going to tax the rich and the big businesses in order to take care of these programs. And the rich and the large businesses don't even utilize the welfare system. It's the poor people.
Yeah.
A better option would be to tax everybody at 50% who utilize the welfare system. One, that'll get a lot of people off welfare system. And once people stop utilizing that welfare system, that get rid of a lot of the discretionary, unnecessary spending that we do in America. And then we have the issue of the politicians who've been in office forever, who like the discretionary spending. Get rid of them too. You got to get rid of everybody.
Sounds good.
I mean, it's insane.
Do you think we'll get there?
You know what? It just really depends on how bad people want it. And people don't want it that bad. Like, people would rather complain and blame somebody else than blame themselves for the reason that themselves or their community is the way it is. And I even made a post about this. You got Democrats complaining about what Republicans aren't doing for people in Democrat-ran communities when they fail to realize that it's the Democratic legislators who've been running those communities 30, 40 years. That is the reason why your community is looking like the way it is. So if you want to solve the problem, you don't blame the Republican or the Republican president. And even as Republicans, you can't blame the Democrat president. Blame the people that are legislating in your own communities.
Right. Local politics.
Yep.
I agree
with that. We all know
that
that Joe Biden falls upstairs. So if he's falling upstairs, what makes you think he's
Let
the
me go
person
back
that's
to that
making
again.
legislation right now? Got to tie it back in, you know?
Yeah.
he's not.
But I do agree with
Biden.
that comment from Tito, though, that is my fear.
Right.
is that if the auto workers do not come to the table soon, the H-1B visas are going to start coming in and taking over.
So
You know what? There's times where
Democrat.
there's times where I will fight against that, and then there's times where you have people like this who are you're going on strike for a very unrealistic pay increase, and you're making whines and gripes about all these things, and you're not realizing how this is going to affect the business and then your local economy, because when they leave, what do you're asked out. So a part of me is like, fine, let them take the jobs. And then another part of me is like, why can't you guys just be like reasonable Americans and stop going for so much more?
Do you think that this also, and I could be wrong, I'm just throwing this out there, do you think that this also can kind of tie into the actors strike, where like they're asking for something, but it's like if they won't do the job, they'll just bring in somebody else who will replace you and do it?
As long as they don't come from China, I'm good, because those Chinese flicks are trash.
It depends, man. Battle Royale was a classic, so don't be hating on Battle Royale.
Gosh.
Man. That movie was dope.
I don't
care
know.
what anybody says.
I don't know.
I think
for them, what they actually should fear is AI. I mean, the ability to take their likeness. I mean, there's a lot of movie. I think it was this new Star Wars Disney one. That wasn't what's his name that played Anakin. That wasn't real. That was a CGI version of the old guy that, or whoever played Anakin in the Star Wars movies. That was a complete computer.
Wait. The actor himself?
I forgot what the name is of the guy that played Anakin throughout the series of the movies. In like episode 1 through 3 or whatever.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, in Ahsoka, right? The new Disney, that was a computer that played him.
Wow.
So, and he looked just like the real dude. Like, and I forgot what his name is. I think it's Christian something. I forgot what his name is.
What's that Netflix series? It was Black Mirror, but it was the first episode in Black Mirror where Netflix was taking actresses and actors' likenesses.
Oh, yeah. In
You know what I'm talking
season
about?
6. Yeah, it's season 6. They basically took a woman and they made an actress play her in real life. But then in that reality, it was an actress playing her in real life, and it just kept going and going. It's like opening the mirror.
Oh, this shit was trippy as fuck. You got to watch that episode. That was scary.
That's like they clone Tyrone.
Oh yeah,
I gotta watch that. I haven't watched
You
that
haven't?
yet.
Oh my god, Soonie.
I'm gonna watch it.
I've been telling you to watch it.
I know. Every time I see it, I think about it, and then I'm like, I don't feel like it.
That should have been. You gotta watch it. That should have been what Black Mirror season 6 was open with that.
I'm gonna check it out. I just haven't been in the mood to watch a movie.
Oh, there you go. Hayden Christensen. There you go.
Yeah.
They had a computer legitimately play Hayden Christensen.
Wow.
They did that in Terminator also.
Yeah.
So do they have to? I'm sure they have to get his permission to use this likeness.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they're gonna end up replacing that. Like they're gonna be able to sell their likeness without them even being in the movies.
I think they're already doing that. I think that's what the majority of the writer strike is about. The contracts for them having to sell their likeness and all of that stuff. I know rappers get involved with that stuff on a regular basis. That's why they be like, you sold your soul, because you literally sold every aspect of your being to this company, and they can use you and your stuff however they want to.
Yeah, I think that's the point that Soonie was making with the Black Mirror season 6, is that if they start doing that, then we can easily just be watching AI all the time. And
but I'm pretty sure that wasn't Joe Biden's AI falling up those stairs, though. I'm 100% certain that wasn't him.
Fucking falling up the stairs.
But you know what? I mean, like, think about it though. Joe Biden has had a lot of videos where he is just not looking like Joe Biden. And then the CIA put that video out where they're talking about they can make like skin faces and have people go out there and go talk and look just like him. Because you remember Joe Biden had that video when he was talking
to speak like Joe Biden, though.
I mean, that one time he was looking like Beavis and Butthead when he was like Cornholio, and he was like talking tough and stuff after something that happened. You know what I'm talking about? He was like, and we're not going to take it. No. I was like, that can't be Joe Biden.
Oh, my God.
That ain't him.
I mean, it's a possibility, but unless we have proof, then it's just kind of hearsay. But it's a
We'll see.
possibility though.
How many of you guys got the 50-cent burger from McDonald's? And don't be lying. I know y'all
Don't
went to
eat that
McDonald's
stuff.
for them 50-cent burgers.
I heard about the 1 cent.
Jay was
burger.
like, "What?"
I didn't know they had a 50-cent burger going on, but I don't
It was
trust
National
it.
Burger Day.
Yeah, the
Like
folks that-
50 Cent the rapper?
no, no, it's like no.
Like it actually
I know.
costs 50 Cent?
It costs 50 cents.
You get a burger with 9 bullet holes.
Damn, that's messed up.
Yeah, they're eating that clone meat.
No, all the
Cardi
burger
B had
spots.
her meal. I wasn't eating Cardi B's meal.
Yeah,
I mean,
so,
even Wendy's. Wendy's had a
yeah.
1 cent burger.
But they're saying I haven't looked into it, but I saw like something on Rumble where it's like not to get those cheap burgers. There's a reason why it's 1 cent. Haven't looked into it, but I'm really curious to know like why that is.
It's probably horse meat and vaccine juice. You know, seriously, you know what they were saying. You know what they were saying at the WEF, right? Bill Gates was like, we got to figure out a way to get that vaccine into everybody. We might start putting it in beef, and he bought all those fields, and all of a sudden they got 1 cent burgers and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
That's dead. I'm being dead serious. Not even trying to be funny. I think he did that.
I know. I wouldn't be surprised at all because how else can you make people like it's weird how they can get you to do something and you realize
At least you know you're safe with Taco Bell though.
Yep.
Are you really safe with Taco Bell?
That shit
Ain't
ain't
nobody
beef.
safe with Taco. Your
That
bathroom
ain't-
is not safe with
That
Taco
ain't
Bell.
beef in there, man. So you know you good.
Actually, you know what? So I used to work at Taco Bell, and with the beef, the reason why it tastes so good is because it's dripped in with caramelized syrup. That's why it tastes so good.
Taco Bell?
Yeah, the meat is in the little juice it is. It's caramelized syrup.
Well,
How do you know that's still beef?
All right, that's what's up.
Yeah, I mean probably yeah.
That's what's up.
Apparently, the new CBS was saying that there's human meat in hot dogs. So let that sink in.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, just
Which
some
one is
fun
this? It's the
military
beef hot
news.
dogs?
Y'all gotta check this out.
Yeah.
Oh, they
So
finally have
DARPA
different-
is funding an AI to help make battlefield decisions. I don't know if you guys saw this. I was reading this earlier.
Siri does that too.
AI in the battlefield. Do you think that's ever going to be a reality?
It already is.
It already is.
Let's just call it.
Wait, are you talking about the
So,
drones?
Soonie, I don't know if you. I don't think I sent you the article then. But we're having a problem with DARPA and AI being used right now. They're. This is the second time they've used DARPA technology actually in the election process. The first time was in 2020. Stan McChrystal used this counter messaging software or AI to counter Republican messaging and Trump's messaging, and it came from DARPA. This time they have a new one. I think I sent it to you. I'm gonna send it to you real quick so you can look at it.
Okay.
But
So have you guys seen Ender's Game?
I've heard
Is
of
that
it.
with
but I
Tom
haven't seen
Cruise?
it.
No, Ender's Game with the kids that are they're at war, but they're using the video games.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like that.
I heard of it before.
But you guys need to
I
look into
know-
Argus.
Argus?
Yeah, so there's this new technology called Argus, and all the military uses it. It's an AI that counters misinformation, supply chain influence. It finds insider threats on social media. You name it. Insider threat detection, anti-money laundering, competitive intelligence, and
That's crazy.
it's now being offered to corporate America.
Let's just
Not
call it.
surprised there.
It's Skynet. All right. Let's just call it for what it is. It's Skynet. In about 5 to 10 years, we're gonna look like T2 when we fighting the machines. And it's gonna be all 4 of us. Like, remember that time we were on live stream talking about this? It's
See,
crazy,
look,
bro.
I'm probably going to. I think me and Julius might differ from y'all. I don't fear AI. Number one, I don't fear it because it's all man-made. AI can't do what I don't program it to do. Unless I program some sort of a kill switch in there for it to go rogue, I still have to install it for it to even go rogue. Or somebody has to send some sort of virus to make my shit go out of whack. I'm not scared of it. And also because it's in my career field. So let's just say the world does go into the automation sector, right? Everything goes automated. I still got a job. I'm not tripping. I feel like it's the people who don't have the certs here who are really bugging about automation becoming a thing. I also can see the dark side of it. I just don't fear it as much as I think the average person does.
I mean, I think it goes back to Obama's time frame of the violations of the U.S. Patriot Act and what Snowden was actually warning us about in the first place, right? And we start to see this same AI that I just sent you here that is meant to attack the public square, any form of dissent from a certain ideology.
Well, here's my question to that. Why don't we have brilliant minds on this side that creates an alternative to that AI? Every time I hear about an AI, it's AI being used in a negative way. But there's nobody on this side trying to counter the negative AI. Like, why not create your own to counter what's going on over there?
Do you mean create
Same reason why they just got the water powered car look on and model. Every time somebody created, they kill him.
I just saw that black dude got murked. I saw that.
Yep. You know what the problem with AI is? Just like on the movie I, Robot, when AI starts to learn and think. And then
But
AI thinks
if
that
we're
in order
being
to save
honest though,
humanity.
how can AI gain sentience? We can't even recreate the God particle. CERN has been trying to do it for years. How does it gain sentience without us programming it to have a form of sentience?
And you're right about that because it takes a human to program it, but then once we program it, then it starts to outthink the humans.
Like the computer.
But it can't unless you program it to do so. You would have to program that AI to constantly be taking in information.
Well,
like
sure. Yeah, well, sure. But, and I'm not trying to be silly, just hear me out. There's this cartoon called Avengers Earth Mightiest Heroes, right? Just hear me out. He builds an AI called Ultron, and Hank Pym, he builds the AI called Ultron. He builds it the way he wants it to. It's kill switch and all that kind of stuff. But for some reason, Ultron was smarter than Hank and ended up taking control. So even though Hank built it and put his what do you call it? Not the kill switch, but whatever the word is, I forget. But his whole kill switch, right? He did all that, but it still became smarter than him to where it took over. So I think it can happen. I mean, look at Brainiac for Superman. Smart computer, but then he became self-aware.
Right, but you would have to sprinkle some magic dust called God, and the thing becomes alive.
That movie Megan was the same way. She started learning.
Yep.
Even though it was an innocence behind it because she didn't know no better. Because she was programmed to protect the little girl, and that's what she was doing.
Yep. Chucky.
Chucky also, yeah.
Yep.
But she also got messed up is the reason why she ended up turning out bad too. But I mean,
as soon as you connect to the internet and all the information is right there, you start downloading, you start thinking.
Listen. We're gonna revisit this discussion because I'm a nerd. I love tech. I've been messing with computers my whole life. I just want to understand. I don't think people understand how programming truly works. That's really what
I'm not looking at it as in the AI is bad, Soonie. I'm looking at it as the actors that are sitting behind it, what they're able to do with it, right? To me, it's the same thing as what Snowden was warning us about to begin with. Like, you know, how they were going through social media to find what they considered threats. And they are able to build this whole file off of average Americans and bypassing everybody's Fourth Amendment to you name it. Yeah. And that's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to sugarcoat it as in, oh, I'll give you like a Megan kind of robot kind of thing. But that's not what they're really after. They're trying to influence. They're not trying to influence. They're trying to manipulate and punish dissent. Like they want a certain mentality. Like, you know, like you look at China's social credit score kind of thing. That's really what they're aiming for. Like, and you know, you saw, what is it? Leader Schumer over there hold a whole meeting on this in the Senate, but we already know what he's after. He would be absolutely for what they're trying to do with this AI stuff. And we need legitimate congressional oversight on this, like now, before it becomes a problem.
Yeah, I agree to that.
I'm gonna go watch Transformers when we get off here.
Yeah, 'cause even with a doll like Megan, like imagine having that in your home. They're constantly scanning everything you do,
Yeah.
collecting information all the time. So it's like I know that Megan's like, oh, Megan she killed, but no, it's the fact that there's a robot there into your data trying to figure out what you're doing.
And to go to your point where Soonie was saying that it's not smart yet. Have you ever thought of an idea and then you go to Facebook and it just magically populates?
Pops up on your phone. Yeah.
Right? It is smart. It knows exactly what it's doing. Or they know when they program it, they know exactly what they're doing. It's intrusive.
And it's also based on algorithm too, because if I'm looking up Amazon like microphones, I'm gonna get an advertisement. Matter of fact, I use StreamYard a lot. So when I go on Instagram, I get a sponsor for StreamYard. Like, it always shows StreamYard because it knows I'm always on it. So, but even that alone says something.
And now aliens are real now. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, like we didn't know that, but I'm just saying aliens are real. So
Joe,
who knows
you're
what type
wrong.
of technology they bring it down?
It was a cake.
Said it was a cake.
Mexican government, man, needs to stop playing with that. That shit didn't
Man, that got on my nerves when I seen it. My best friend was like, "Hey, you see the Mexican alien?" I was like, "Mexican alien?" She was like, "You didn't see it?" I'm like, "No, I have no clue what you're talking about."
Man, I was hoping for a chupacabra, man, but I was like, that shit ain't looking nowhere near.
The alien had a thick mustache with a sombrero. He was just laying there like
Senior Biden. That's who it was. Oh, that's falling upstairs.
What do you guys think about that though?
I don't think anything. I think that a lot of stuff that we talk about is nothing but distractions.
Speaking of that, did you see India's fake moon landing?
No
they're
fucking way.
Atari like graphics.
What?
Like
you
Space
guys are
Invaders?
playing with me, right? India.
No.
Hold on.
No, there's a video on it. Soonie. It's on like YouTube. Like India faked a moon landing.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
And then the woman that came out to speak on the criticism, you could just tell something ain't right because she was like almost like upset that like they got caught or something. So she's like,
they use like an Atari symbol, like a.
What? This is fake.
You gonna post it or what?
I'm about to pull it up. This is not real.
I'm so excited to see this. And look, he just looked like a liar.
Who is here to encourage us.
What in the fuck?
Supposedly it's a reenactment.
Why do they gotta reenact it when they could just show it?
Yeah.
Looks like the video.
जी हाँ, आप अपनी स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं कि हम लैंडिंग मॉड्यूल.
Yo, they in there clapping. They lying to all them people. Wait a minute. That is so disrespectful. Bro, what?
That looked like Minecraft. Oh my God.
What?
They were saying that so there's this guy on YouTube was saying that guy right there that you guys see, like he looks so like unenthusiastic that he almost like he's a puppet. It's like a hand behind him, like pulling the strings and he's clapping.
Wow, dude. Well,
they made it all
I hadn't even heard about that.
Yeah, and then a few weeks later we get the Mexican alien.
Yeah.
Well, this
Oh
is
my
embarrassing. Is that
That's
Super
not-
Nintendo?
that's
or
rich.
something?
Rich.
That's an Atari. That ain't.
Yeah.
You know what
don't
that
do
video
Nintendo
looked like?
that. What?
That video looked like every single call center throughout America.
Yeah.
Damn.
Facts.
Bro.
You know when you get a brand new domain name and you start getting random phone calls. Hello, is this Joe? Are you the business owner? Would you like to do a SEO? Like, no, don't call me. That's what that video looked like.
Hello, is this Joe?
You got your domain?
Here remind me of that joke from Dave Chappelle, the Indians who hijacked the airplane. Hello, we got 5 black. Hello.
Wait a minute. They over here taking pictures. Wait a minute. This is they in there taking pictures of this. It's not even real.
Oh my gosh.
See,
Look at
this
another CGI Earth.
this is when I lose hope for this planet. Forget America.
The planet, that's India.
Yes, Indian people over there, they are video recording a simulation of something that is not even real.
Bro, it's like, what did you go to college for in India? You know what I'm saying? To make an Atari moon landing. Like, he's so smart. That's the best you can come up with. But that's pathetic.
Wow.
They
Well,
should have teamed up with China. Hell,
that was a good way to end the show. I thought you were playing. That was a hell of a troll. They just trolled the globe. Whoa.
oh my God! I remember Kim Jong Un used to do that too. He used to be like, "We're gonna chop off his head," and he'd be alive like 3 months later.
Man. Wait a minute. The office that they're clapping in looks like where credit card scammers work. That's true.
For real.
If you guys are ever bored, you should follow this YouTube channel. It's called Expose Scammers. And this guy who's a total computer whiz, he hacks into their computer while they're trying to hack into his. He be erasing their shit, posting their pictures, and they'd be like, "What are you doing?" They be flipping out. You gotta go watch it. And it's a lot of Indians on there. There's actually very few Africans that I ever see on there. So maybe the perception of Africans being
Maybe
scammers
there's
is
a real
not
Nigerian
necessarily
prince
true.
out there then.
Sometimes
I know
like
somebody who is actively being scammed by a female African, and this guy's been scammed for. I don't see how he doesn't see it. No,
Really?
no.
Normally, them dudes in the
I'd be
military be
like,
talking to them
bro,
girls
you
online
have
thinking
a
they
new
real.
fiance every year. Do you realize that? And they're all African.
He got a lot of Bitcoin too, huh?
I don't know what he got going on, but hopefully you're watching. And I've never said that to you, but you get catfished every couple of years, buddy, by these Africans. But thank you guys for coming on the show with me. I appreciate it. It was fun. I enjoyed hearing different perspectives.
I feel bad because I'm on StreamYard because my friend Angela has StreamYard and I'm like the administrator with her. I just realized I get streamed to my audience, and I just saw it like 15 minutes ago, and I was like, I could have been streaming this on my platform, so my audience could come to you.
It's all good. We had
bad.
fun. People can come back and
next time for sure.
It's usually what happens. People come back and watch it. They don't watch it live, which is weird.
I sent out an email to my list of people to make sure to check out the show.
Yeah, I
You
posted
guys
on
check it
Twitter,
out.
and I posted on Instagram as well. So.
Well, if you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Also, make sure you comment in the comment box. We actually enjoy going back to look at some of your comments. Yeah, and if you're not new here, make sure you come back Friday. Mo will be back on Friday, and we'll be doing a full show.
Yeah,
Shout out to
Godspeed.
Mo.
Well,
She
Mo.
got a bad toothache. Her tooth hurts. So she was like,
Well,
I'm not showing
sometimes,
up
Soonie,
today.
the tooth hurts.
Yeah.
Nigga, what?
At the end of the day, Scooby-Doo's still a dog, right?
It's a dad joke. I'm sorry. It's a dad in
At
me.
the end of the day, the tooth hurts.
But that's what you gotta do, though. You gotta argue with a point that can't be refuted. Like most people got two bars. You know?
Well, I thought you were gonna go with the falling upstairs again.
No, listen, I got one more. It's extremely offensive, right? Because at the end of the day, boys got a pee, girls got a woohoo.
Oh, snap. We about to get canceled tonight.
Yeah.
Demonetized.
My YouTube channel is gone.
Yeah. And then you have
like,
the black
keep
liberals
going.
like that's white supremacy.
You got all the Indian folks back there on YouTube. Demonetized Soonie, Joe.
Yeah.
I be
Juliet,
wondering
and
who
Dave.
works at YouTube. I think it's a bunch of Indians. I'm gonna be real with you. When Project Veritage was exposing, bro, they were all fucking Indians.
So get this. In San Francisco, when I was doing Lyft, all the tech places, a lot of those people come from overseas to work at the tech places.
So wait a minute. You mean to tell me
shit.
that India can run YouTube, but they got an Atari freaking space landing? Like,
Yeah,
make
that's
that
why
make
this was
sense.
hilarious.
They up there playing Minecraft moon landing.
I mean, they run Google, YouTube, they run damn near every tech industry, but they can't.
They gotta be ashamed of
bro.
themselves. They gotta be ashamed of themselves. All right.
We're gonna end with this. Space travel is fake. We've never been to the moon, and India damn sure ain't been to the moon.
Base.
Changed my mind. Try it if you want to. Bye, guys.
Yeah.
They say that something's so offensive, but only if you get offended. I can't offend you without your permission, and you don't even have to listen. They say that something's so offensive, but only if you get offended.